Strong capacities and local motivations are important ingredients of effective local government response to frequent disaster and climatic change, but the question is, how are the capacities and motivations translated into institutional decisions, and why do they sometimes not emerge at all? In our research, we see many local governments have skills, technical capacities, and many other things, but they don't invest what is necessary. And other local governments have maybe not the same capacities in terms of financial and human resources, but they make more investment, they make more decisions. For instance, hence our question is, how are the capacities and motivation or leadership translated into institutional decisions? Our research addressed those questions regarding the emerging policy domain of investment in resilient critical infrastructures. Thereafter, I will use the term investment by local governments. And the system of critical infrastructure is essential for normal functioning of society. Things, for example, in our times of COVID, how important are health centers? Our research investigates the dynamics of institutional arrangements for the provision of resilient critical infrastructures in municipalities, local governments, investments compared with managerial activities of maintenance of infrastructures. We develop a model specification to explore if and how both internal and external institutional dynamics, municipal organization robustness, municipal multi-level governance relationships in terms of resources transfers shape local governance processes and outcomes in Chile during a 10-year period. We tested hypotheses with regression methods using longitudinal data for this period for 345 Chilean municipalities, and we analyzed the evidence of the quantitative analysis with support of qualitative analysis in deep observation and comparison of selected local governments of the sample. Our results reveal that the observed heterogeneity in infrastructure investments decisions is associated with municipal organizations' robustness in terms of operational rules, planning, managerial flexibility, accountability, and other ingredients being the most quantitatively outstanding moderating factors. The implications of our research, of our results, the evidence led us to deduce that efforts to support local government in the emerging policy domain of resilient critical infrastructures require special attention to the robustness of municipal institutional arrangements, alongside incentives that emerge from governance relationships or incentives of linking social capital or incentives of other factors. But the most important results is how municipal organizational robustness shape local government decisions. Uh, we have a literature review, analysis of relationships between explanants and explanandums, model specifications, operationalization, methodological designs. I will show you the hypothesis. Our first null hypothesis is that capacities in terms of financial, human, and technical expertise are the key explanatory factor to understand, to explain local government decisions. So, this null hypothesis, and we have an alternative hypothesis. The capacities are moderated by institutional processes at the local government level. Our second null hypothesis is that leadership, motivations, attributes such as strategies, agenda, electoral, political, and institutional support explain investments. The effects on mayoral leadership or senior staff is in our right is documented by a large number of studies. The alternative hypothesis is that leadership is moderated by institutional processes. So the connection between capacities and leadership is explained by the institutional variables, especially the municipal organizational robustness. We follow our equation shows that the output variable, investments or maintenance, is driven by capacity, leadership, and municipal organization or external institutional variables. Something important, something relevant, is we have in Chile, probably in other countries is the same, we have a local government, they don't invest at all. They don't invest at all. For instance, the linear model is not the best strategy quantitatively, to measure the effects of causality. The non-linearity leads us to use Tobit regression methods in this analysis, and not linear regression methods or causal mediation analysis. So we use moderation analysis with Tobit regressions. So here is Chile, and well, because the time, I will show you the conclusions. Based on estimated models, we reject the null hypothesis with the data of Chile. The data of Chile are the regression results first. The regression results show moderating effects of municipal organizational robustness in the relationships between capacities and local government decisions, and in the relationships between leadership attributes and local government decisions. So, and secondly, the external institutional dynamics, multi-level governance, resource transfers, etc., are not really important quantitatively, are not if we compare with municipal organizational robustness. So this is the main finding, at least for 345 Chilean municipalities. Variables that represent leadership attributes, electoral, municipal, and political support are quantitatively more important than municipal capacity variables, human and financial resources. But the most important municipal organizational variables have the most robust moderating effects in some capacity and leadership variables. Implications for instance, where more investment in critical infrastructure is required, organizational robustness and accountability are essential ingredients to achieve progress, making feasible that capacities and leadership motivation translate into decisions and results. Thank you very much, and I hope it is interesting for you.
Yes, thank you, Patricio. I think it's important because the first paper about the stems with salmon, there is a convergence. There is how can I say, engagement in two approach, because Sam talking about the federal, the ministers, and now we're talking about the municipality. And it's very interesting because you, when you look at the local level, you can see what needed to the policy, to the better policies in the area. You need more infrastructure, you need accountability, but you need the leaderships, and you can put together two approaches, the leaderships and the conditions. It's very interesting because sometimes when you study public